Welcome back. The presidential election, not the only race on Tuesday. In the Senate, Republicans are fighting to keep their majority with 35 seats up for re-election this year, including the one held by South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. He's been campaigning all weekend. He joins us this morning with an update. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you.
Do you have the momentum?
Thank you. Yeah, I think I do. Number one, my opponent has raised more money than anybody in the history of the United States Senate. Liberals all over the country hate my guts because I stood up for Kavanaugh. I'm helping Trump. I need to close the money gap. LindseyGraham.com. I'm here with Nancy Mace, who's trying to take back the Charleston House seat. NancyMace.org, so help us both. But the momentum is real, and let me tell you why, for Trump and me. Judge Barrett. When I mention Amy Barrett's name, it gets a louder applause than Trump or Graham. She's a twofer. She excites the base, and 51% of the people who watch the hearings approve of her. 33% GDP growth right before the election is huge for President Trump. People see hope after the virus. The other thing is the war being declared by Biden on oil and gas was maybe the biggest political mistake in a debate in modern history, where Joe Biden says we're going to go out of the oil and gas business, making us energy dependent. And I hear Hunter Biden a lot. People are beginning to reassess the whole Biden campaign. The Hunter Biden corruption is penetrating with independents. And finally, Donald Trump is working his butt off. These rallies are making a difference. Keep it up, Mr. President. The momentum is with Republicans. It's with Trump.
Well, let me just say that President Trump has touched down in Michigan. It's about a 40-minute drive to where his rally will be. He's going to have 5 rallies today alone, so we know that the president has touched down. Look, I want to ask you about the last point. Yeah, it's amazing that he's out doing 5 rallies in a day, 2 days before the election. It is. I agree. Look, Joe Biden is going to be in Pennsylvania, Senator, and I know that you say the oil and gas issue is real important. Pennsylvania is one of the must-win states, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I think his decision to announce at the debate, Biden's decision that we're going to transition away from oil and gas, get out of the oil and gas business, is a boom to Russia. You want to talk about Russia? You want to help Russia? Get America out of the oil and gas business. Fracking is a big issue in Pennsylvania. It's a big issue in Texas and Ohio. I think it's the biggest mistake Biden's made. Most people want to be energy independent, not depend on the Mideast. Most people want millions of jobs in America, not crushing the oil and gas industry. I'm for the environment, but I'm not for making us energy dependent. Huge mistake. I think that alone flips Pennsylvania.
Well, let me ask you about unrest and law and order. Suburban women have been one group that the president is trying to appeal to.
Right.
They were turned off by the president. I assume they want school choice for their families, and they want law and order in place. Are we going to see rioting should the president win a second term on Tuesday night? What can you tell us about your expectations once we've got the decision in?
I think we need to hunker down in some of these major cities. You know, all the liberal media is following me around. Help me, LindseyGraham.org. I've got everybody in the country on the liberal side trying to take me out because I'm helping the president. I stood up for Kavanaugh, and I got Amy Barrett through the process. So they asked me, will Donald Trump transition power peacefully? Here's my question back to the media. Will you accept this time around that he won? I'm more worried about the liberals not accepting Trump winning than Trump not transferring power. Yeah, this is on the ballot for suburban women. Our cities are burning in these Democratic-controlled cities. We've got the cops back in South Carolina. Donald Trump is supporting the men and women in blue with police reform. It's a huge issue for women, but 33% increase in GDP right before the election shows that Trump knows what he's doing. And if Biden wins, he's going to increase taxes. He's going to kill the economy, and they will lock our country down like Europe. That is definitely on the ballot. LindseyGraham.org. Help me keep the Senate. .com.
Also on the ballot. Oh, also on the ballot is, on the other side, potential corruption, Senator. What are you going to do to make sure to keep accountability? We still haven't seen any news from John Durham's investigation after the coup that failed to take President Trump down in 2016. Now we've got the Hunter Biden story, the FBI sitting on the laptop for a year, not telling anybody about it, even as they impeached President Trump for Ukraine news. What are you going to do, Senator Lindsey Graham, in terms of holding people accountable? Will you subpoena Hunter Biden? Bottom line.
Well, the Homeland, that is Ron Johnson. I've got McCabe coming in November the 10th. I've got the social media CEOs coming in November the 17th. But I'm going to have a hearing with the FBI about why did you sit on the laptop so long? What you see from the business partner of Hunter Biden is corruption at a industrial scale, influence peddling. What have you learned through our time together? That it was Hillary Clinton in July trying to cook up a plan to link Trump to Russia in 2016. In September of 2016, she tried to attach Trump to Russia to deal with her email problem to deflect. We've learned there was Russian collusion, but it was between the Clinton campaign and it was between Russia. Clinton in Russia, not Trump in Russia. We learned that Crossfire Hurricane was the most corrupt investigation maybe in the history of the FBI. Durham is all over this. After the election, you're going to get a report, and I'll be shocked if people are not indicted.
All right, we will leave it there. Our viewers are aware of all of that, and they want to see accountability, Senator. You know that. We will follow you and watch you on the campaign trail. Senator Lindsey Graham joining us. Thanks so much, sir.